And there's another issue that's popping up now as colleges get ready to return for their spring semester. College educators teaching in person do fall into Group 1B, but other people working on campus directly with students don't. United University Professions is the largest higher education union in the country. They represent employees at UB, Buff State, Fredonia. With students coming back to campus in just weeks, the union's president is now pushing for all on-campus employees to be included in this Group 1B so they can get vaccinated. So new this morning, I went in depth talking with the union president about what he says needs to happen. And I know there's still people in the category that you would like to see vaccinated, those professionals who are going to be on campus who aren't educators, but they're still there working with the students. So talk about that and why that's so important.
It is vitally important. When you look at the situation that occurred in the fall semester, where we had outbreaks at Oneonta, very serious outbreaks with over 600 cases of COVID among students almost exclusively, and then at Brockport and at Cortland, there were a lot of these situations where our members who work with students directly in residential housing, in IT departments, in so many of these areas, literally were working with students who were infected, living with students in residence halls, delivering food to infected students, moving those who were infected to isolation areas. So they were really putting their health and well-being on the line from the start of this pandemic. And so we are adamant that they need to be included. We know that the chancellor agrees with that. Now the idea is, how do we get the state to agree with that, while also addressing the reality that there just aren't enough vaccines to go around because the federal government is not releasing a sufficient supply. That bottleneck continues to be a real problem.
So where does that conversation stand right now as far as those people who are working on campus? When do you see them being added to this list of people who are able to get vaccinated?
We are hopeful that that determination would be made within the next couple days. And by the way, this includes all of SUNY, including the community colleges. We don't represent the faculty and staff in those institutions, but all of us in UUP and all of us in the higher ed community understand that we need these vaccinations as we needed aggressive testing to protect our communities. And so we're working strenuously to get this done.
And we know we're dealing with this shortage that we were just talking about. Is there a concept that you've gotten as far as a timeline as to when all of these people in this particular category could be vaccinated, all of the people who we want to get vaccinated on campus?
I'm very concerned that with the supply problems, we could be talking about weeks, if not months. Students will be arriving in the next couple of weeks. And so therefore, it's imperative that we clear up the bottlenecks and include these individuals in 1B. The other part of the conversation that I had with the chancellor that was very important is that he is insisting, as we have been, that the aggressive testing of all students and community members on campuses take place, even more so than was taking place in the fall. And I applaud that. It is necessary to do the testing because we can't just depend on a vaccine that everyone may not be getting.